Sculpting the Hand Vase Part 3 by Stacy Hoffman. Samples of finished vases. This is the smallest of our samples. It was less than half an inch tall. The leaves were created from metal laser-etched military camouflage parts made by Verlinian. This was the largest. It was approximately 1.5 inches tall, and that is dried botanical fern used for the fern plant inside. This was a medium-sized creation, and it has a mixture of dried and wire and enamel florals. This is strictly a dried arrangement with a few painted brass leaf foliage. This is a comparison of the different sizes. On to part 3. Now you're having to cut the vase off down at the bottom in order to make a wide enough base so that the arrangement balances and does not tip over. I am pressing the bottom of the clay onto a wooden disc. The wooden disc will support it even when you have it in the oven. After you have cooked it and allowed it to cool, it is very easy to remove the vase from the wooden disc. I'm taking one of my small wooden tools and I'm making impressions around the bottom of the vase. These impressions are basically a teardrop, and I'm doing the teardrops all the way around. If I decide I don't have quite enough base to work with, I can use the side of the tool to roll out the clay so it's a bit of a flatter arrangement. I'm essentially just looking for enough base so that when I fill the vase with flowers, it does not tip over. Now that I have widened the base, I'm going to go back and repress my teardrops in. It may take several attempts before you complete it to your satisfaction. The nice thing about polymer clay is it doesn't dry up. You can continue to play with it until you're happy, and then fix the final results by cooking it in the oven, following the manufacturer's recommended times on the back of the package. After I've pressed the teardrops all the way around, I'm going to use a pointy tool to go in and clean up the scallops that were created by the teardrop impressions. The fat edges of the teardrops will create a scallop around the very outside of the base. I'm using a sharp tool to go in and make the circular edge of the scallop smooth and concise. All right, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I probably could have skipped this part. When you have finished cooking your sculpture, you can leave it as is, or you can take rub and buff in a metallic or pearl shade and outline the edges at the top of the vase and at the bottom. It can even give a glass opalescent effect if you take it and run right around the tip of the rim and then drag inward with a paintbrush. I thought I had that on video, but when I went to do the final editing, the darn stuff had disappeared. So I guess the camera had run out of memory and I did not realize it. In real life, these were frequently made out of porcelain, china. I've seen a few samples carved in stone and wood. Glass in both solid and translucent shades. opalescent glass, which can be very pretty. All of these can be simulated using different polymer clays. The new translucents that I think are produced by Fimo would do a wonderful imitation glass. Alright, now that I have it where I'm happy, I'm putting my finger on the top of the actual vase section. Remember, we had cured the vase section previously, so my pushing on it will not distort it. So by using the tip of the vase to move the whole structure, I can get a hand positioning that I like. Also, if you want to use just the hand, perhaps to hold a finished bouquet from a wedding, etc., you can pick the vase part out of the hand and fire the hand separately. If you do that, then you have just a hand structure. I, however, am going to want to do it completed together. So after fiddling with it, I'm going to put the vase back in and then cook it. These are samples of vintage glassware. This is opalescent glass. Notice the rainbow sheen. This is a vase made out of china. This is a ceramic version with a celadon glaze. And the last is a really classic porcelain. Hope you had fun. See you later. Stacy Hoffman.